So this random theory popped out of nowhere and I decided to collect my thoughts on it, and this is just purely based on my knowledge. So if you don't agree with my opinion, then it's definitely fine. And yeah, like the title says, in this video we'll be discussing, are the FATUI'S actually good? Strange, right? So in this video I will explain my thoughts and opinions on this topic, and before starting off this interesting video, I want you guys to like this video and subscribe this channel. So based on the Archon quest, whenever a region faces some sort of conflict or predicament, the Fatui is always behind it. In other words, they play as the antagonists of the quest line. Their doings always brings inconvenience to the region, so one can clearly say that they are obviously bad. But what are the intentions behind their actions though? We all know that the Fatui does this to obtain the gnosis of the Archon that resides in the region, and the gnosis are then going to be used by the Svetsa for her plot against Celestia. The reason as to why she does this is unknown at the moment, but I personally like to assume that it is to avenge the poor souls lost during the fall of Khaenri'ah. We all know that the Archons may have participated somehow there, and they even choose not to talk about it. Being the god of love, the Svetsa may have felt compassion for their fallen, hence why she decided to rebel against Celestia. In other words, she has the balls to go up against the Celestia. And this is probably why Venti didn't seem to care when the gnosis was stolen, since he wished to give it to the Svetsa anyway, and why Zhongli decided to sell away the gnosis. If you ask me, this is a noble intention, and if I was an Archon, I would gladly give my gnosis away too. But that doesn't justify the reason behind the actions of the Fatui though. Why do they start conflicts and inconveniences in the other regions even though the intentions are good? So I think even though the Svetsa is the one with the good heart, she isn't the one who collects the gnosis. It's the job of the Harbingers. And did you ever consider what kind of people the Harbingers are? They are bad people. Of the currently known Harbingers, we know that Child is a war freak. Signora was a psychopath who seeks revenge until my waifu, Raiden Shogun, gives her what she deserves. Yeah, killing her. I don't know what Scaramouche is thinking, but he looks creepy as hell. And Dotor is a literal freak who does human experiments on kids. So in other words, these people are monsters, and yet they are the ones tasked with the missions to collect the gnosis, since it's what the Svetsa asked them to do. And the reason as to why they want to follow the Svetsa has something to do with their objectives aligning with the Svetsas, but that's beside the point. But yeah, anyways, their behavior is terrible, and they should explain why their plans and actions are terrible as well. So in the eyes of the Fatui and the Svetsa, they think the Svetsa is doing good, a divine work with good intentions. However, the Svetsa may use lethal force to influence them into other nations, are likely to gain more power for the rebellion day when it comes. 11 individuals with remarkable powers, manufacturing delusions, creating war machines, and so on. It suggests that the Svetsa is doing whatever she have around her to rebel against the Celestia, including using lethal force to influence themselves into other nations. But I think in the eyes of Fatui and the Svetsa, these deaths they cause and the deaths the Fatui member experience are for greater good, and is a sacrifice for the rebellion day. It's probably suggesting that the Svetsa wants to collect the 7 gnosis, creating a very big empire and start a war with Celestia. But in the eyes of the traveler, the Fatui is bad. But the lost sibling did mention to us that keep moving on our journey and explore the truth of Tevat, which may suggest if Celestia is the big villain after all. But the real question is that the Fatui is good or bad? Well, I'd say they are good. The intentions behind the action are very noble, but because of those monsters known as the Harbingers, they stir up unnecessary conflict and bring trouble wherever they go. But let me explain you in the easy way. Like good or bad depends on the perspective. It's same in this aspect of Genshin Impact's writing. That's why it is good, because it is morally grey and depending on perspective, just like real life is. There are no cartoonish evil organizations in real life. Each one has its reasons. But what do you guys think? Are the Fatuis really bad or they are actually good? Comment down your answers below, and also like this video if you found this video entertaining, and subscribe if you haven't, but don't forget to press the bell icon. So now, thanks for watching.